Your body did not just make room. Over 9 months, it took itself apart and put itself back together, and some of what it rebuilt has no plan to change back. In 2016, a team in Barcelona scanned 25 women before their first pregnancy and again afterward, and found changes in the brain that were still there 2 years later. That is the first of 5. Start with the brain, because it is the one almost nobody is warned about. The study was led by Elseline Hoeksema and published in Nature Neuroscience. The design is what makes it unusual. Most research on new mothers starts after the baby arrives, which means there is nothing to compare against. This team scanned the women first, waited through the pregnancy, and scanned them again. What they found was a reduction. Specific regions of the brain came back smaller. Now, everything in you probably just flinched at that word, so let us deal with it immediately, because the meaning is close to the opposite of how it sounds. The regions that changed are the ones involved in reading other people. This is the machinery you use without noticing all day long, working out what someone else is feeling from a face that has barely moved, guessing what they want before they say it, separating what someone means from what they actually said. It is the difference between hearing a sound and knowing it came from a person who needs something. And in the brain, smaller does not reliably mean worse. A great deal of development works by removing connections rather than adding them. The teenage brain does exactly this, and comes out faster and more efficient on the other side. The pattern was so consistent that a computer could sort the scans. Given a brain image with no other information, it could identify which women had been through a pregnancy, with near-perfect accuracy. That is not a subtle drift. That is a signature. 2 years later, the researchers scanned them again. Almost all of it was still there. And there is one more piece, which is the part that changes what the whole thing means. The women whose brains changed the most also scored highest on measures of attachment to their baby. The size of the change tracked the strength of the bond. So the honest reading is not that pregnancy costs you something upstairs. It is that a brain preparing to read one small person very closely appears to sharpen for that job, which is worth holding on to the next time you walk into a room and forget why. That experience is real, and it is exhausting, and it is not what this study measured. What was measured was social processing, not memory, and it moved in the direction of specialization. The brain gets the attention, but the change happening in your bloodstream is larger, and you can put a number on it. The second thing is that you are carrying significantly more blood than you were. Over the course of a pregnancy, the liquid part of your blood, the plasma, increases by somewhere around 40 to 50%. In practical terms, that is roughly 1.5 liters of additional volume moving through the same body. It does not arrive all at once. The increase starts remarkably early, well before there is anything to see from outside, then builds through the first and second trimesters and peaks near the end, which is part of why the last months feel heavier in ways that have nothing to do with the baby's weight. There is more of you than there used to be, in a sense that has nothing to do with the scale. It is also why the very early weeks can feel strange before they look like anything. The system is already rebuilding. Here is the part that surprises people. The red cells increase too, but not by as much. Plasma outpaces them, which means that by the 3rd trimester, the same amount of blood contains a lower concentration of red cells than it did before. On a lab report, that can look like anemia. In most healthy pregnancies, it is not a deficiency at all. It is dilution, and it is expected. It even has a name in the literature: physiological anemia of pregnancy. If your body is deliberately thinning its own blood, it is fair to ask what that could possibly be for. There appear to be at least 2 answers. Thinner blood is less viscous, and less viscous blood moves more easily through the very fine vessels of the placenta where the exchange with your baby actually happens. And there is a second, blunter reason. Childbirth involves blood loss. A body carrying an extra 1.5 liters has a buffer that a non-pregnant body does not. So the fatigue of late pregnancy is not simply the weight you are carrying around. Some of it is the volume you are carrying inside. All of that extra volume has to be moved by something, and it has to be stood on by something. The next change is the one that leaves a mark you can measure with a shoe. The third thing is that your feet may not go back. In 2013, a team led by Neil Siegel published a study in the American Journal of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation. They measured the feet of 49 women in the first trimester, then measured the same feet again about 19 weeks after the birth. The arch had dropped, the foot had lengthened, and it had not recovered. The changes were small in absolute terms, but they were consistent, and they were still there months later. A meaningful share of the women had a foot that was measurably longer than the one they started with. There is a mechanism that makes sense of it, and it is not weight. Pregnancy involves a hormone called relaxin, whose job is roughly what the name suggests. It softens ligaments so that the pelvis can widen for birth. That widening is not optional. A human baby's head is close to the largest that can pass through a human pelvis, and the margin is narrow enough that the joints of the pelvis have to give a little to make it work. Relaxin is how that happens. It turns a rigid ring into one with a small amount of play in it. The difficulty is that relaxin does not travel to the pelvis and stop, it circulates. Ligaments elsewhere in the body soften too, including the ones holding the arch of the foot in shape. Put a softened arch under an increased load for several months, and the arch flattens. Once the ligament has lengthened, it does not necessarily shorten again. The detail I find most striking is about timing. The effect showed up most strongly in first pregnancies. Women who had already been through one did not tend to change as much the second time, because the change had already happened. So if you went up half a shoe size and never went back down, that is not something you failed to lose. It is a structural change that the research anticipates. And if a hormone circulating in your blood can loosen the joints of your feet, it is worth asking what happened to the organ that has been working hardest of all. The fourth thing is that your heart changed shape. The demand is straightforward. More blood has to be moved, and something has to move it. Over a pregnancy, the amount of blood your heart pumps every minute rises by roughly 30 to 50%. Some of that comes from beating faster. Most of it comes from pushing more with each beat. To do that, the muscle itself adapts. The chambers enlarge to hold more, and the walls thicken to push harder. In measurable terms, the heart gains mass. There is also a question of where all of it goes. Before pregnancy, the uterus receives a very small share of the blood leaving your heart. By the end, it is receiving a large one. An organ that was minor in the circulation becomes one of the main destinations. Your heart is not just moving more blood, it is moving it somewhere it barely used to go. This is the same category of change that happens in endurance athletes. A rowing career or a marathon habit produces a heart that has quietly rebuilt itself around the work being asked of it. Pregnancy asks a similar question and gets a similar answer, on a timeline of months rather than years. There is also something simpler happening, which is that the heart moves. As the uterus rises through the abdomen, it presses upward on the diaphragm, and the diaphragm presses upward on everything above it. The heart shifts higher in the chest and rotates slightly. On a chest scan late in pregnancy, it is not sitting where it used to sit. Unlike the feet, most of this reverses. The chambers return toward their earlier dimensions over the months after birth, and the heart settles back down as the space below it empties. It is one of the more complete recoveries on this list, but something remarkable is being ignored in all of it. Every one of these changes is your body reorganizing itself in service of something it has excellent reason to attack. The fifth thing is that your immune system spent 9 months choosing not to reject your baby. Consider the situation from your body's point of view. Half of your baby's genetic material came from someone else. In every other context, tissue carrying foreign genetic markers is identified and destroyed. That is not a malfunction of the immune system. It is the entire job. It is why transplant patients take drugs for the rest of their lives. A pregnancy is a large piece of half-foreign tissue, attached directly to the maternal blood supply, growing for 9 months. By the ordinary rules, it should not be tolerated. In 2004, a team led by Varuna Aluvihare published work in Nature Immunology on how it is tolerated. A population of immune cells called regulatory T cells, whose function is to hold other immune responses in check, expands during pregnancy and appears to be central to keeping the pregnancy from being rejected. What makes this genuinely elegant is what does not happen. Your immune system does not switch off. If it did, 9 months without defenses would be extraordinarily dangerous. You still fight infections, you still heal, what changes is targeted. A specific tolerance, aimed at one specific thing, held steady for the length of the pregnancy, without lowering the guard everywhere else. The placenta is part of how that boundary is held. It is not a passive wall between two bloodstreams. It is an active surface built from the baby's own tissue, sitting directly against yours and managing what crosses and what does not. Two immune systems meet along that surface for 9 months and do not go to war, which means that underneath everything else in this video, something in you has been running a continuous, precise decision every hour for months, not to attack, not to treat this as an intrusion. Nobody experiences that as an act of love, because it does not reach conscious awareness at all. But it is the most sustained thing your body has ever done on someone else's behalf. Here is what it all comes to. Regions of your brain involved in reading other people reorganized, and were still reorganized 2 years later, with the degree of change tracking the strength of your bond. The liquid volume of your blood rose by something close to half, thinning it deliberately. The arch of your foot dropped under a softened ligament and, for many women, stayed dropped. Your heart gained muscle and shifted position to move a load it had never been asked to move, and your immune system found a way to make an exception that it makes for nobody else. Let me be clear about what none of this means. These are findings from groups of women studied under research conditions, and any individual pregnancy will differ from the averages. Nothing here describes what is normal for you specifically, and nothing here is a reason for concern or reassurance about your own body. Any question about how your pregnancy is going belongs with your midwife or your doctor, not with a video. But there is something worth carrying out of it. The conversation around pregnancy tends to be about what you are supposed to do, what to eat, what to avoid, what to prepare. Almost none of it is about what is being done, quietly, without instruction, by a body that reorganized 5 of its own systems without ever asking your permission. You did not only carry them, you were rewritten in the process, and some of that writing is permanent. If this changed how you think about what your body has been doing, consider subscribing. We release new videos every week on the hidden science of pregnancy and the developing mind, and a quick like genuinely helps other parents find the channel. Thanks for being here.